Despite being the world's smallest continent, Australia holds far more astounding discoveries that will leave you speechless. Starting with its only continent that does not have an active volcano. But come to think of it, it doesn't require one, because experts believe that the oldest evidence of life on Earth may be discovered in this mythical land known as Down Under. Here's what they found in Australia that shocked the world. Number 10. Remnants of space exploration. Expecting to uncover some forgotten treasure in the deep ocean waters, these divers spotted something else, something better. A gigantic remnant of what appeared to be space shuttle firing chambers. This isn't what you would expect to see in a deep-sea dive, yet it's not unusual in Australia. In 1979, a NASA Skylab orbiting workshop for research plummeted to Earth, raining debris all across Australia. With the energy of a dying meteor, a 9-story tall structure weighing nearly 80 tons slid into the atmosphere in parts. Is this the last piece of the NASA spaceship, or something else? Number 9. Marree Man. Stretching 2.7 kilometers tall with a perimeter of 28 kilometers, extending over an area of about 620 acres, is an outstanding geoglyph in South Australia. The towering Marree Man is easily visible from space. Who made it? Well, rumor has it that Thaddeus Goldberg is the suggested creator of this amazing 2.6-mile-long line drawn of an original hunter, which was surprisingly found by a pilot flying over the outback in 1998. It's believed to have been carved during the springtime of 1998 and took approximately 6 weeks. This huge geoglyph, which is visible from the sky, is certainly made with calcium lime for easy visibility. Is it a publicity stunt? Or is it rather a message to aliens and it was built by them? No one knows, though rumors still move around. Although the true origin of the Marree Man is still unknown despite the recent announcements of this information, it's certainly one of the intriguing modern-day mysteries and is undoubtedly the largest geoglyph and work of art in the world. Number 8. Ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. Hidden into the rock face within the Brisbane water parkland is a series of carved Egyptian hieroglyphics whose authenticity continues to be debated. Who thought that Australia has some serious connection to ancient Egypt? The Gosford glyphs, also known as Carryong hieroglyphs, are a gaggle of roughly 300 Egyptian hieroglyphs located in Carryong in New South Wales. Many believe they're of Egyptian origin, a real deal left behind by 2 Egyptian princes shipwrecked on the Australian continent. These intricate set of symbols are believed to have been carved some 5,000 years ago by ancient Egyptians who visited the Down Under. Some believe that hieroglyphs are nothing, quite a modern forgery. Others think they were inscribed 5,000 years ago as part of a sacred sabbatical. Naguib Kanawati, an Australian professor of Egyptology, has also asserted that they're not authentic and that they were built in the early 1980s, concluding that the hieroglyphs within the same panels were of considerably different dates and that some were carved backward. This curious set of symbols has produced countless mixed reviews from researchers. Either way, it sure could be a masterpiece. Wouldn't you agree? Number 7. Horizontal waterfalls. On the Kimberley coastline is a gorgeous yet terrifying view of a tide turning in all sorts of cool ways. It's as though someone has pulled the plug on the ocean, making millions of gallons of ocean suck through a narrow sea gorge. These breathtaking natural wonders are the result of some of the world's greatest tidal movements. The 1.7 billion-year-old rocks, nearly half the age of the Earth, are bent, bowed, and wrinkled up like paper, testifying to the cataclysmic force that molded them when the lands collided. In comparison, the horizontal waterfalls appear to be a peaceful creek, The tidal waterfalls of Talbot Bay, Buccaneer Archipelago, are unlike any other waterfall in that the water flows horizontally. The McClarty Range, which has two ridges running parallel about 300 meters apart, is home to the Twin Gaps. When the tides turn, the currents run in the opposite direction, making it Australia's most deadly current. Just don't dare to swim there. Number 6. Shell Beach. This stunning snow-white beach, stretching for 50 miles, is composed of billions of tiny shells up to 25 feet deep. There's no sand here, just shells. It's one of the only 2 beaches on the planet entirely made of shells. Amazing, right? Shell Beach is located right off the Shark Bay Road, 44 kilometers from Denham, and 84 kilometers from the Northwest Coastal Highway. Hypersalinity is one of the traits that limit life in the sea. As with Hamelin Pool, the combination of significant evaporation and the Farasil limiting water flows leads the water here to be twice as saline as the sea. As a result, there's a dearth of competition and predators from the fragum cockle, resulting in an extraordinary abundance of this one species. You'll float well in these super salty shallow waters, so it's perfectly safe to swim. On a calm day, the ocean at Shell Beach transforms into a palette of the most vibrant greens and blues. A walk along this amazing beach would be unlike any other. Number 5. Wave Rock. The coastline of Western Australia draws surfers from all over the world, but the largest swells come from the vast outback plains. The ocean isn't the only way to catch a wave. A stunning wave that never breaks, towering 15 meters and stretching over 100 meters, is found just outside the village of Hyden, an upstanding rock mass part of a huge ancient crustal mass called the Yilgarn Crater. It's a good thing it's frozen in time for us. Weathering and water erosion have rounded its base, causing it to be undercut and leaving a rounded overhang. The rock is 2.6 billion years old, which means it existed long before dinosaurs walked the earth. It's utterly unreal. The wave rock resembles petrified water and is composed of millennia of stratified stone. Locals say that wave rock was formed by the mythical rainbow serpent, who dragged her snake body across the country after eating all of the water. For thousands of years, it's been a sacred spot for indigenous people. It appears to be a lot of fun to go there. Because of its shape, it's tempting to believe that the wave rock evolved as a result of flowing water or blowing wind, but that doesn't appear to be the case. For starters, even after millions of years, there isn't enough wind or moving water in the area to cause that much erosion. The most telling indication, according to geologists, is that the landform's wave structure continues for at least a meter below the current ground level without flattening out. There can only be one logical conclusion. It was born underground. The granite formed deep beneath the ground and was then exposed. Following formation, the landscape was worn back, exposing the spectacular granite itself. Number 4. Cooper the dinosaur. Spanning about 80 to 100 feet long and 16 to 21 feet tall, is a gigantic dinosaur unearthed in Australia's outback. From southwest Queensland, this enormous plant eater stomped into the record books. Discovered in 2006 on the Mackenzie family farm in the Eromanga Basin, around 1,000 kilometers west of Brisbane, is the outstanding Cooper the dinosaur. According to paleontologists, Cooper must have weighed 25 to 81 tons. This newly discovered species of long-necked titanosaur sauropod dinosaur, according to Austrian scientists, lived between 92 and 96 million years ago. Cooper's discovery began by chance in 2004, when Sandy, her son, discovered a rock that looked like a fossil on her family's farm near Cooper Creek. The long suspicions that dinosaurs lived beneath their house by the family were drowned by the findings that spurred them to investigate further. Since then, they've established a foundation and a museum in the area. Judging from his size, Cooper has certainly earned the name Southern Titan of the Cooper. Number 3. Gnomesville. An enthralling treasure trove awaits you deep in the Ferguson Valley, nestled among the gorgeous natural wilderness. Gnomesville is the beautiful home of over 3,000 gnomes that have come from all around Australia and the world to live there. Strolling through the villages and glades, which are teeming with fun, naughty and sentimental gnomes climbing logs, hanging out in trees, playing cricket, and even flying planes. There are various stories to choose from. Some people believe that a random gnome emerged, while others feel that their gnomes were put to keep the original gnome company. Another myth goes that local construction workers made a cricket scene complete with gnomes amid the roundabout just for fun. Regardless of why the gnomes live in Gnomesville, this interesting gnome colony has expanded to enormous proportions. It's one of those occurrences you have to see to believe. Number 2. The Floating Forest. To those whose hearts race when they see old and abandoned things, this is without a doubt the most magnificent sight for all the rich flora flourishing in its corroded shell. The fully grown mangrove trees earn this 102-year-old, 1,140-ton ship the nickname Floating Forest among the locals. It was when the SS Airfield served as the cargo ship between Newcastle and Sydney, bringing supplies to American forces in the Pacific Ocean. The ship was taken to Homebush Bay in 1972 to be deconstructed, but the process was eventually discontinued, and the ship was left to rust. The SS Airfield, like many other ships employed during that time, was simply abandoned to degrade and be reclaimed by nature. Aside from its ship-breaking history and creepy ghost ship cemetery, others want to shoot various abandoned antiques, but many tourists come to the bay just for the beauty of the lush greens. Undoubtedly, it's a spectacular sight. I mean, who wouldn't love to see such beauty? Number 1. Castle in the Jungle. Some women receive jewelry as presents, while others, like Margherita Paranella, receive a castle in a very mythical rainforest region. A castle built out of affection. Nestled within the heart of tropical Queensland is a pure romantic vision of Jose Pernella. This ambitious Spanish immigrant discovered this unbuilt forest land alongside a waterfall in 1929, which he and his bride considered their dream castle. His hands were busy restoring cane from farms and reselling them for a profit. But his mind was stuffed with the vision of one day building a castle and garden for his future wife, and Paranilla Park was born. While building a castle had always been Jose's goal, his love for his wife was incorporated into the look of this endeavor. His vision took 10 years to come back true as they built the castle with their bare hands. Sharing with the general public, this castle has become a perfect location for weddings, family day outs, movie nights, dances, and parties. There was also a museum area with interesting objects from North Queensland and around the world. Paranella Park is indeed home to a true love story. Until next time, adios.